video.
Mm-hmm.
So my primary platform is Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do the PDT hack through Robinhood? Okay.
No, you
Okay, I got you.
can't.
I'm learning.
Yeah, Robinhood doesn't do it's called a box trade, and Robinhood does not allow box trades. You
Okay.
can do it on Thinkorswim, but not
Okay.
on Robinhood.
No, I'm good because I know last week I used a day trade. I think it was Friday, and then it didn't go my way, and I got out before I lost a whole lot, but I had to use day trade. And
Okay.
I tried it, but I was like, tried to put the opposite trade in, but
Yeah.
after time, it was so far away. I said, this
Yeah.
ain't gonna feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I watched the video that said, no, you can only do one thing of some. So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
uh, make more money to add to my Thinkorswim account because the Robinhood. So, but I am learning. Hallelujah.
Yeah. So now what we do when if you're watching my trade alerts, you'll see when I do those alerts, I do put in Robinhood. So that way you'll know that these are the ones because I try to wait because my son is also trading in Robinhood and then I put stuff in Robinhood. And the stuff I put in Robinhood, my plan and desire is that those Robinhood trades will go all the way to expiration.
Right, right.
So that's one thing. But we get 3 day trades
Yep.
in a 5 day window. So if you need to use one, we use them.
Yeah, right.
If you need to use them, you use them.
I
Yeah,
use I
that's what
use
that
it.
goes.
The trade wasn't going my way. I watched. I said, "Oh no, no, no!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then before it breached, I shut it down. I said, "Well, day trade. That's only one, so I still have more
Mm-hmm.
stuff."
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. I appreciate. It. I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go with that. There
Trying
we
to
go
help
with
my
that.
students. I'm teaching financial literacy, right? I'm
That's
teaching.
right. You got to be able to be ready too.
So I'm trying to, but it's been a blessing. Been a blessing.
Good. Good job. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I see a few more people are coming on. I'm trying to give it time because I just sent an email out, and I know there's new people who joined. There are new people who joined, but somehow is anybody on here who's new? Because some of them didn't seem like everybody's picking up. Everybody's email is not putting them into. Is giving them an email to get into the Telegram group. Doesn't seem like they're coming in the Telegram group as fast as they're showing up in my email that they joined the membership. Maybe there's a delay in those emails. Might have to check that out. Okay, so did y'all see the stuff I put in the chat today? With There was a little list of the things we would look at. Let me bring it to the screen. I kind of put this here as and Chat GPT brought this up for us to say this is the stuff we can do in preparations. Now, I didn't go through this full list myself, but I thought it could be something. Can we get it to be bigger? Maybe not. Did y'all look at this? Did anybody take some time and look at these things? Use this to get ready for trading this week? The weekly market review. What was our SPX high? Let me see if we can. Okay, you can move out the way. There we go. Get you wider. I don't hear no yeses. That must be nobody looked.
Glanced at it.
Huh? I put it into the chat in the Telegram around 11 o'clock. Um, the high for SPX last week. Is this SPX? Nope, this IWM. I have it as a PDF, which I could send it as a PDF. I wanted to put it into the chat so that way you could have it to look at. The high of last week looks like it was 59.43 was the high. 59.43. Let me see if I can go to it here. and maybe edit it in the phone as we go. Yeah.
And
Okay.
58.43.
58.43 was the low?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Nah, SPX, no. 58.43 was the low. Show was 100 perks. Y'all. What does the next thing say? Weekly range, weekly mark, Friday close. What is this? Weekly mar, Friday close. Maybe market? The high, low. What's weekly mar? I'm not sure what that means. Friday close, market review. Well, maybe I just was copy pasting. I saw several key support zones for the week. Now, if I was looking for key support zones, I probably would go to the daily chart and look for some supports on the daily chart. Let me see. Can I edit it here? I can't edit it there because I've added it on my phone. What was Friday's close? Did we put that there? What was the close Friday?
59.11.
59.11. We can go with that.
69 cents. But yeah, 59.11.
Edit. I'm editing it on my phone as we go. Key support zones. Okay, let's look. Y'all look at y'all charts too. Let's see if we find us some supports. Now on the daily chart, I don't really see no real key. I see the top of the gap here as a support. Now we see that 58.42. Y'all heard me talking about this on the call. This is the spot right there where we was right where it dropped to and turned around was based on right here. We were looking, sometimes that was a good key information, but sometimes when we're looking only on the 15-minute chart or the 5 or whatever, we have to zoom out so we can see, is there something down here that's going to help us stop? Because at that time we were looking, I know me, I was looking so close to say, please stop. I did not have the bandwidth to go look in no place else. Even though if we had looked out May 22nd, or I didn't even have this on our chart, 58.42 we see is a key support area. That's key support for us from May 22nd. But now we need something that's up higher, right? Because this fell down to and closed here. That would be a key support, wouldn't it be? The bottom of this, the close of Wednesday. Close of Wednesday, what, 58.88? Y'all might already have some stuff on your chart from previous days. That when we were charting. 59.04, I think the bottom of this hammer would also be, which would be the open there. The open from Friday is 59.03. I will put that as a key support. Y'all see any other that catch your attention as key supports? We can go to a smaller time frame, see if we see anything that jumps out. I'm going to the 30-minute. No, I'm gonna put a whole bunch. That part of the homework I gave was to look at these other charts and time frames to see if you saw some support or resistance levels. I see something here at what's this 58.81. Let me put that in the right place. I think I got it going backwards on our paper. 58.81. Right here based on this here. The top of the gap also will provide support. right there where it turned around, 58, 54. Okay, I'm done with those, 58, 54. Yep,
All right,
jump.
listen.
Yep.
I was gonna say, when you said zoom out,
Mm-hmm.
that was the low of the week.
Mm.
So that's probably something we should have had marked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is where we're doing. Y'all see how what Adam will have on his list, and he'll be able to have that whole list of all them numbers. This is how you get them. You just keep the low of the week, the close of a previous day, and and those numbers just add up in these areas. They don't a zone doesn't stop being a zone just because the price isn't there anymore. So we keep those. I know for me, I can't keep a whole lot of stuff on my chart. Doesn't mean that I don't have, maybe we don't, that we shouldn't keep it like in our minds. We shouldn't keep it in our minds. Okay. So I put some support areas on our little sheet. Now let's go put some resistance areas on our sheet. Do y'all think we're gonna be bullish or bearish this week? Anybody got a thought for what this week is gonna hold? Go
Somebody
back
said that
to the
Trump was
daily.
speaking. Was he speaking like while we were on the Zoom, or just was that a
I thought
reference to
that's what they were
Friday?
saying. I thought they were saying he was speaking, but
Okay, I
was he?
wasn't sure if it was now or if it was
No, he
a
was
reference to Friday.
he
He
was
was?
yeah, he was speaking earlier. I didn't really listen to a whole lot, but I was watching the ES to see if it moved because of the headline, like very big news, and it barely moved. So to me, that's a sign that maybe the headlines were a little overblown. And then he was just
Mm.
reading. So
Trump is running off his mouth.
yeah.
Well, that
Well,
happened.
before you end, Coach, if we could look
We'll
at
look again.
yes,
Yes,
yeah, at
make
the
sure that
end.
you remind me.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. So I see resistance, a key, what, 59.39 or 59.40? Right? We see any others? I went with this one. And of course, there's 59.62 based on this over here. Any others catching y'all attention? That was a gap, but it's been filled. Is it a new gap? Why do I have that there? I'm gonna leave those two. Okay. Observations from last week. Do we have any observations we want to identify in here from last week? Anything we remember?
We were on an upward trend before what was it, Friday? I guess these last two Fridays, if you just parallel them, we were on the upward until yeah, until he spoke and changed the trajectory of put another tariff on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even if we look here, as far as the moving averages go, the 50 period moving average was kind of neutral, and then it turned back up. So we
There
are
is a
still
tariff
slightly
that's supposed to
bullish.
be, I think, oh gosh, I remember something about June 5th is between the 5th and the 9th. I want to say earmarks either a decision of, I think the 5th is the decision regarding the Supreme Court on if the tariff can stay. Because remember, they took it off. Well, they ruled that it needs to come off, but then they just said, okay, up until it officially goes to the court. And I think that's the 5th. And then I want to say the 9th is another tariff of, other countries. So it's hard to keep up. But the 5th is Thursday or Friday. The 5th is coming up.
Okay, and something, you think there's something tariff related that is Friday?
Blueberries, protein, and peanut butter.
Let's try that.
You wanna do that one?
Then I
Okay,
want to
I
get
hear
a
somebody
bowl.
ordering
The bowl I
smoothies.
got her was
I like the blueberries and peanut butter too in my smoothies. Let's see.
I usually take chocolate powder, chocolate mix it up with avocado and strawberry and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what you put in yours.
Yep. While using a meal replacement, I'm trying to lose a few pounds.
Oh yes, well, aren't we all? What some? Okay, some of this is getting all convoluted. Anything else? Any other observations from last week? So we can talk about the reversal at what was that, 48.50? Was that 48.50 we were at with that big reversal? Reversal at 58.
Oh, I'm about to say 48, 50.
Right. I'm like, what are we talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
Right, what you talking about, Willis? Okay. Trends, traps, reversals, news impacts. Of course, tariffs are impacting everything.
Oh,
The
one
gamma
other
exposure.
thing
Go
in
ahead.
terms of observation.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we hit the gap Friday, but two
Yes, we
days
did.
last week we did not. So we didn't hit it every time. I wanted to make that observation. So twice last week, if we did it Friday, we definitely didn't do it Thursday and Wednesday.
Right. We did hit it Friday and got into it a little bit on Friday. So these are, let me turn these strat numbers off so they're not in the way. There we go. Wednesday and Thursday, nothing, but Friday when it got down, it was able to go into the gap a wee little bit. Okay, I usually do my my quad here. I want to edit that. Let me delete it because when I do my fib, I usually have, let me put it here still. Oh, go away. Okay. When I put my fib here, there we go, here. Let me edit that for the, I want the 25, the 50, the 75, and the 60. There we go. Okay. I put this on because the gap usually, and y'all heard me say this before, the gap will usually feel, the quartile sometimes will feel. I wanted you to see, I can't even see where that wick is, but the wick went down to about the 25% mark. If I take this off, I'm not sure if y'all can see, it's hard to see it right there. But the wick from this candle went down to that line. It went down to the 25% line and turned back. Now, that also was a support line from here. This is the line I just took off. But the line I just took off was also the 25% of this gap. So generally when gaps fill, they do, if it's a good size one, it will fill in quartiles. 1/4, 1/2. Would you see I put a line about halfway through, 3/4. And if it usually gets past the halfway mark, it kind of keeps going. And then you get the full, the full gap. It fills all the way after that. That happened on Friday. Gap fill, what's it, partial gap fill on Friday? Partial gap fill on Friday. Okay. What was our gamma flip zone? Are y'all, what are y'all thinking about about our use of gamma? What are your thoughts? Are you all seeing the usefulness? Are we understanding it? Do I need to bring that? Some people need that video again or need to go watch that video again. What are your thoughts?
I'm not as familiar with Gamma, so I think you did a video, but I haven't seen it.
I did. I'm gonna bring the video back down to the bottom because I did, and I think it is going to be quite useful. I promise you, quite useful to watch the video. It's going to give you so much clarity on. It's going to give you so much clarity on what that chart is saying to you. You're going to be amazed.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Where
I
are
think
we?
the Gamma was a game changer for me. So I was able to get the Discord and see that. So like on Friday, it helped me, to get out of my trade. I was watching it closely, so it's been a plus.
I agree completely. It's been really good. This is the final flip zone for Friday. The flip zone Friday close. Why is this all like tied up like this? I don't know. Okay, so the flip zone there on Friday looks like. Can I see it there? I think the spot 5907, I think, is the price. It's not very easy to see the flip zone on this chart. It's easier to see it here. Can somebody in the Telegram go find the link to the Gamma, how to use Gamma, and forward it back to the bottom? Zero Gamma was at boop, 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 boop. Why is the number not there? It's usually written there. Let me go up one. Yeah, go to this one. 5890. There it is. It's written down here at the bottom. 5890. Now, the open interest clusters is something we're gonna go look at we need to go look at on the option chain. Open interest clusters for the next. This is all crazied up. That's why this is.
I hadn't noticed the zero gamma there. So that's the flip zone where it says zero gamma on that
Yeah.
chart? On
Yep,
that
yep,
chart.
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
So where it says, for those who are wondering what we're talking about, see it says zero gamma right here. And it also says zero gamma down here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't pay
It's the
attention to the
yellow
one
line.
below.
This yellow line here is the zero gamma. So if you just want to see where the line is, the yellow one is the zero gamma. And it says it right here. And it shows you here that it's the yellow line, but down here it tells you what it actually is. Then it gives you the major positive down here. What are you doing? Ay, ay.
So that zero gamma is equivalent to the flip zone on the other sheet.
Yes.
On the other chart, I mean.
Yes, it is. Yep.
And that major positive and negative, are those the bigger?
Yeah, so 5920 is the biggest one here.
Okay. On the
Yep, that's the
positive side,
biggest
gotcha.
one. Yep, the biggest one. And then the major negative 5880 is the biggest one on the red side. So yes, same thing. The
Nice.
biggest one on both sides is going to be the major positive, major negative. Yep. So we have this chart where it's horizontal, where the lines are going horizontal, and you have the other chart where the lines are going up and down, where they're vertical, and they're giving you similar information. It's just laid out a little bit different. This one to me gives you more information because you've got numbers put here. The other one is more, to me, more of a visual chart. This one gives you more information too because see these 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. These are the dots in here that are telling you what was it a minute ago, what was it 5 minutes ago, what was it 10 minutes ago. So it's letting you know that something is changing or how much it's changing. It says, okay, well, 30 minutes ago, like this one, 30 minutes ago we were here. And then 15 minutes ago, it was here. So it's letting you know that which numbers are growing and which numbers are shrinking as time is passing. So that's giving you more change information. Or this one says a minute ago, this one was here, but now it's getting smaller, right? A minute ago, this one was here, but it's growing. So that a minute ago, this one was here and it grew. That helps us, like when we were doing, I think we were in the last few minutes of the day on Friday, and I was like, every time we got another one, I was like, okay, the 5930 is getting bigger. Now we've got some equal numbers coming. Now we were looking at the other chart, but this one also, this one gives you those dots to let you know when something is getting bigger or getting smaller, which matters because if it's going to pin somewhere, if it's drawing towards, on the plus side, the number is pulling towards the major positives. It's pulling towards the green. So you need to know if there's more money going towards the green and it's kind of building, you want to know that where your strike is, it like that it's not building past where you are.
All those dots a different kind of color?
Yes, they're all
Okay.
different colors, different shades of pink.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can't see it probably on my screen, but when you look at
Right.
it on your screen, there's some the pink, the 1 minute prior is very light, and then as it gets further away in time, the dots get darker.
Okay. And that's where it was.
Yeah.
So like that 5910 line,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the two
Yeah.
dots out front,
Yep.
those
Yep. Just
are,
let you know that a minute ago it was out here,
got it.
right? So it's shrunk down, and it looks like maybe this was 5 minutes or 10 minutes ago. It was out here, so it's getting smaller, smaller, and then it's here now. At the time we were looking at it.
Okay. No, that's helpful because when I see the other chart, you do see sometimes that when you look at the is it the Y axis? You see
Mm-hmm.
that the it's gone down or
Mm-hmm.
more. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. That next part is all crazied up. Okay, I gotta open up my Thinkorswim in order to see the open interest stuff because I can't see that here. Economic calendar check next week. So we know that FOMC, or let's say Powell, Monday at 1 p.m. What else did we have? Forex Factory calendar. We've got Powell is Monday at 1. Tuesday. Jolts at 10 a.m. I'm just putting 10. Wednesday, we've got employment, EMPL at 8:15. That's the only red folder. Not that that's the only important thing, but that's the only red folder. Well, 10 o'clock, we've got PMI. Okay, this is Wednesday. Let me put Wednesday here. And PMI at 9:45. Thursday, we've got unemployment at 8:30. And then Friday, we've got employment stuff. Well, that's supposed to say Thursday. Friday, we've got employment at 8:30 also, right? Okay, so that gives us some stuff. So now that next piece of it there is for you to decide for yourself, which is something that I think everyone needs to think about. What is your capital? What are you doing capital wise? Think about ahead of time. All right, let's set our mind and thoughts on what are How much money are you trading with? This is capital, was capital allocated for the day? Are you trading with the $500? Are you trading with 1,000? Are you trading with 2,000? You're trading with 5,000, whatever it is. At the bottom of the trades channel, which I think there's some people who asked me to put them at the bottom of the trades channel. I will be sure to make sure that you're there. At the bottom of the trades channel, I reminded us yet again. I want to make sure. Okay. I need your real name, not your Telegram name. Okay. I sent it to you. I put there information about sizing, and let's talk about sizing again. Now that we're here, let's talk about sizing because that's a good conversation, right? I want to make sure that you are appropriately sizing for your own risk tolerance, your own risk management, and your own ability to recover if it don't go well. All right. Is this a number of contracts per trade? Yeah. So what I have here is if you have $500, then you trade one contract. If you have $1,000, I suggest you still trade one contract. Now, why would I suggest that you still trade one contract? Yeah, I got $1,000. That's two contracts worth of money. Why would I only say trade one?
Just in case you lose that 500.
Yes, ma'am. Just in case the trade goes south, it don't go well. That means tomorrow or the same day, even maybe you put this first trade on and it doesn't go all that well, and you that same day want to try to make a few more dollars, or maybe you try to recover, however, or by the end of the day, maybe you get all the way up to 345 or 356 because we've seen it happen, and your trade goes in the tank. That means the next day you still got something to trade with, because I'm telling you, and I'm only telling you from experience, there is nothing worse than getting to the next day and not having any money and wanting to trade. How do I know? I've done it. Or having to wait till your money clears on Thinkorswim. Like, I got more money, but Thinkorswim gonna take a week to give it to me. Okay, no, leave money there. So that way you're ready to trade with it the next day, okay? Okay, that's why I'm saying this, all right? I'm only telling you, I've been doing this a long time, right? Do yourself the favor. If you got if you got $1,000, still trade one contract, let that other money sit. And then when you are ready, maybe the next day, and preferably all goes well and there's no problem. But we do know that losses happen. We don't like them, but they do happen. Okay.
So when would you be in an appropriate position to trade at least two contracts?
Okay, so are you looking at the screen?
Well, screen.
Yeah, the screen where I then say if you have $1,500, now we trade two contracts. Can y'all see the screen? Ward, can you see the screen?
No,
Can y'all see? Y'all can't see the screen?
Yes, I
see
can
it.
see it.
Yes, I
Ward, what are
can.
you doing?
Yeah.
Ward,
It
where are
might be
you?
blended in for him, but
Oh, okay.
it's at the bottom.
Wait a minute. Now I see it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if you've got $1,500, then you trade in two contracts. And that's because you gonna still save some money to the side. Still save some money to the side. Now, if you decide, now, even though these are suggestions, okay, I'm making light of it, but these are suggestions. If you decide I got $1,000 and I'm willing to walk away from the 1,000 all at one time, then go for it. Okay, this is your money. I'm just making suggestions. But I know how it feels to be ready to trade and not to have the money there to do it. So I'm just telling. I know what that feels like. All right. So now, good thing about Robinhood, if you're trading over there, Robinhood puts your money back in there pretty quick. So if you blow it over there, Robinhood will put it back in there right away, and you can keep trading. Thinkorswim, on the other hand, gonna take 3 or 4 days, which I don't get because it's all electronic. Why does it take you 4 days to give me my money when you know you got my money the same day? Anyway, so
That
if you
part.
they got it from your bank the same
That
day.
part.
Yeah,
Okay.
they definitely got it from you the same day. Give it to me the same day. So if you got $2,000, I still suggest 2 to 3 cons. This is where it's kind of up to you. How you're doing it. 2,500, and you can see how the thing goes. As you keep going up in money, you're looking at how do you want to continue to blow. How not blow. How do you want to like disperse? How do you want to disperse your money? All right. How do you want to disperse your money? Go
Blow.
ahead. Question.
I'm gonna blow it.
Go, no, let's not blow it. Let's not blow it. That's not what we want. I want to talk a little bit here. This is also a good place for me to segue into how do we how do I stagger? How do we stagger trades? Because I don't, if I trade, you all see, I trade multiple contracts throughout the day, and you'll see me put 2 here and 3 here and 4 there throughout the day. And it comes like you might see a lot of different alerts coming on. And that's because for me, I'm currently comfortable with staggering my trades as the price action goes. In the past, I've put like more contracts on at one time and then be worried about that's a lot at one place. So I still will do that sometimes. Like the other day, I had like 6 contracts all at one price. But what I do is, as price is moving about, okay. So we're doing Friday. We entered around 10:30, right? As price exited up here, right? We thought we were going to be moving a little bit more, right? We put on a put credit spread. This is where we put our first put credit spread on, thinking we were on our way, right? 4 contracts is what I actually did in the morning because my plan was to do 4 contracts there, and I was going to PDT hack my 4 contracts and keep it pushing. And you see what happened. Price went right on out of there and came right on back, right? So this is, we entered on this candle, not that red one. We entered on this candle, right? And then price pulled back and pulled back some more. Actually, this was a good reversal candle. For all intents and purposes, it was a reversal. I mean, it was a engulfing, and really this would have been a good place to put a call credit spread on. But I think I was so caught in the fact that we were going to keep going that I completely missed that. But this would have been a
You was
great place.
engulfed. You was engulfed.
I was engulfed in the engulfing candle. This would have been a great place to put on a call credit spread. Okay, this would have been a great place because we would have got above all this and we would have been fine. But I was caught up. But this would have been a good call credit spread place. I didn't do one, so I'm crossing that off because that's not what I did. So price came down, and I'm trying to think of where did I put another? I think I put a put credit spread on again when I thought this was gonna do another. This was gonna chill out. I put another put credit spread on here, and this might have been 2 contracts here. I'm down here though. I did have like price somewhere in here. I think I had like 60, 65 was one of my places. I think it might have been 60, 65. When we entered this one though, this one was 85, 90, I think it was on the call credit spread. I was up pretty high. It might have been 80. No, I think it was 75, 80. It wasn't that high. It was 75, 80. And the particulars aren't as important as me just showing you the staggering. I believe I was at 75, 80, right? So this price kept falling, falling, falling. But as price got down here to where it was low, down here when we were down in this zone, I put on more contracts. I did 58. That's supposed to be an 8. 58. I want to say 2025. Once I saw the reversal happen down here, I did some more put credit spreads. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? As price I thought this was going to keep going. It didn't. But I put on put credit spreads here. I thought this was going to be a reversal. It wasn't a full reversal, but I thought we were going to bounce off the bottom here and go up. I had some more put credit spreads. But then we had this big massive tank, and I did put credit spreads. When I saw this reversal happening, I put on these put credit spreads. Then I added to these put credit spreads. I added more here because I felt like we were going to get, but these credit, the ones I put on now, I got really good premiums because price was coming through back through this area where these were. And then I don't think I added anything here. I didn't was too nervous to add anything to these. But I added here, and I want to say I added maybe 58.40. By now, I think I'm probably over in Robinhood adding strikes, but I'm still adding put credit spreads. Okay. Okay. So this is how I'm staggering the money. And I might have had a 50 somewhere in there, but I'm letting you know that I'm staggering the strikes and I'm staggering the money. So all of my strikes and all of my contracts are not in the same place. I'm staggering the contracts along the way. So then as price is climbing though, and we get, as this 75.80 is not, as I'm not as nervous about that, because once price comes back through here, I'm not as nervous about it. Then I start looking for call credit spread numbers. I start saying, okay, let me go start thinking about how am I going to balance off this money? Because now I've got, I think I might have had 12 contracts of put credit spreads going. And I'm thinking, okay, I need some call credit spreads to balance this money. That's what I needed now because I have put credit spreads, and if I've got collateral out there, I should get something back for those, right? So that's when I start looking for call credit spreads as to make these into iron condors, but I'm waiting until I see how high this is going to go. And I think I ended up with like 59.50 or something like this. I don't remember the strikes I ended up with up here, but I went up high enough. I think I had 59.30 also. I had a few different strikes along the way because I staggered this even as price was going up. I also was staggering it. And part of the staggering also went along with the fact that with the gamma charts, I believe we were going to come up to this 59.20 and we were going to go up to some of these areas, 59.20 and these higher spots. So, so because of that, I wanted to make sure that I was getting beyond these high places, but I knew if I could get, 59, 20, 30, 40, 50, somewhere in there, I wanted to be in safe zones, but I also wanted to get decent premiums, but I had the ability to put on multiple contracts. So I staggered, even up here, I was staggering the money, staggering my contracts. I wasn't putting all 12 at one place, right? I was staggering them so that way I wasn't getting all the same premiums. Some of them I got $50 at, some of them I got $35, some of them I got $80 at. So that's how I'm staggering and utilizing the money. Okay, that's how I wanted to share that with you as you're growing, as you're adding on more contracts, you're staggering them along the way. Go ahead, Christina.
So let's say after the big red candle around 12:20,
Okay.
let's say that kept going south and it didn't
Mhm.
reverse.
Mhm.
How would you have handled the put credit spreads that you had on to date? That's my
I would have needed to just close them, honestly. I was trying not to do that earlier because I really, my trading plan says that I will close them when they get touched. But we also have adjusted it to say if it was 12:30 when they got hurt so bad, there's still 3 or 4 hours left, so we decided to wait. So,
Okay.
but if it had kept going, I would have just closed them and been
Okay.
like, that just would have been a loss.
And then my other question is, you had said, I know you didn't do this, but you had said you might have put on a credit call spread around 10:30, but that would have actually been breached, at the end of the day.
It
So
depends on how high I would have gone because with this early in the day, I would have been able to go up to like 59.50 and still gotten good premiums.
that's true.
So I would have gone up much higher. If I was at 10:30 in the morning, I would have been in this area. I'd have been at 40 and 50 this early in the day. I'd have been up pretty high for premiums.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, do you ever look at the deltas? Do you ever how do you pick your strikes?
I picked the strikes based on what this gamma chart looks like. So
Okay.
the gamma is the determiner for me. I look to see what are our big candles and what's the outer ranges. I usually use this other one for that. I usually use this one for that. And for the most of the day, I can pick any of these really because they look kind of the same almost all day. Well, not there far. But looking to see what were the outer ranges up here. This outer range kind of was here most of the day. So I would have been outside of the big candle. I would have gone, that's what I do almost every day, is
Is
look
that what it
outside of
showed in
there.
the morning?
It showed it wasn't as clear as that in the morning, which is why I didn't have any call credit spreads in the
Yeah.
morning
Okay.
because it wasn't as clear as that in the morning. Um I'm trying to go to earlier, but we did have what was it? Yes, it actually had a pretty big. What was looking weird in the morning was those reds, but this was
Yeah.
the morning. So around 10:15, this is the morning one. So
Okay.
it had a lot of green.
Yeah.
Some of these, like this 6,000 was interesting, but these reds that were here was like, "Well, this looks weird." But you see that there still was a high area and then a drop off. So
Mm-hmm.
still the 5950 area was beyond any place it would have pinned. So if I was to do that, I still would have been in this area, 5950 or 60 early enough.
Okay.
Hmm.
And on a different note, what are you using to select what you're calling trial trades?
Hmm. So the trial trades we were doing was based on first thing in the morning, and which Friday might have been the day to do that, but man, a lot happened on Friday. The trial trade first thing in the morning, what I have found was when I did a little bit of research, it wasn't in depth, but the first two or three trades in the morning, um, they were flipping. So the first trade was coming out with a put credit spread, for example, and
Mm-hmm.
then the next trade would come out with a call credit spread.
Okay.
So I was looking at those when I did my little short term trial, and then that's what the trial trade was showing first thing in the morning, like 9:30, 9:35, 9:45 ish. It was early enough where there was a flip that was happening in the what Magic 8 Ball was suggesting, um, puts and calls. But then, we were doing those for a while. But then I found that one of those sides, when I was having trouble in the day, one of those sides was getting breached. So
Okay.
I had a talk with my friend Chad. Y'all know my friend Chad. I had a talk with Chad, who is my friend Chat GPT, and I asked him if 9:45 was a little early to be looking to
Mm-hmm.
enter, and Chad said it was about 15 minutes too early. Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So Chad said it needed about 10 or 15 more minutes for things to settle. But
So
on
that puts you around the 10 o'clock mark,
around
really.
the 10 o'clock mark, there's enough data that comes out that you have more information. So like even on Friday, not put credit spread was 9:30, puts 9:40. I want to say around maybe 10 something it started to flip to calls. There we go. At the 9:50 it flipped to calls. So
Mm-hmm.
the first two of the day were put suggestions, and then the third one was a call suggestion. Now 59, 20, 25 actually would have been a profitable trade.
Yeah.
It'd have been real nervous though. These last few
Yeah.
candles would have made you scared, but it would have ended profitably.
So have you experimented with doing the 10 o'clock trade?
Yeah, so now what we've started doing is the 10-ish window. I'm using the gamma to help. So
Mm-hmm.
10-ish time frame, 10, 10:30. That's what's informing that now. So now it's being informed by data, not just by, what Magic 8 Ball is populating, but by 10 o'clock I'm looking at gamma and there's information to work with by then.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Oh, I just want to ask you again, Alyssa,
Uh-huh.
about the contracts. Say you have at
Uh-huh.
least $10,000.
Okay.
How you get to that level? What's the minimum you suggest? Like how many
Okay.
contracts you could think you
Well,
can handle?
it depends on how much of that money you want to use each day. That's the first question. How, if you had $10,000, how much of that would you want to use each day?
Ooh, well, I'll guess 8,
Okay, you would use 8. So
8 to 10,
okay, huh?
8 to 10.
Okay, so wait, let's talk it through. If you have $10,000 in your account, are you willing to trade the whole 10,000 each day?
No, not necessarily. Me,
Okay,
that's
so
5,
that's the question is how much of it are you willing to trade with each day?
half. Let's say half.
Half. That makes better sense. Okay, so
Okay.
let's go with half. So $5,000 is going to be what? How many contracts is that? 10?
Could be 10.
Yep. So 10 contracts? Or is it 20 contracts?
I guess, like you said, it depends on it depends. You want to do half $5,000. Depends on the what you want to buy. What will you have a contract for?
Yeah, 2 contracts for $1,000. So that's 10 contracts, right?
Yeah.
So now, so you got 10 contracts we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to figure out, then you're going to think about how do you want to stagger your use of those contracts? Are you somebody who wants to trade throughout the entire
Well,
day? Do you want to put more heavy in the morning? Do you want to, do a morning, mid, afternoon? Do you want to set the morning and kind of have your afternoons where you're just kind of chilling? Those are the things. So now for me, okay, so I would tell you what I would do.
yeah.
I had $5,000 and I was trading 10 contracts. I probably would do at the 10:30 window, I do maybe 3 to 4
Mm,
contracts on that
okay.
first run. And I probably would look to PDT hack those if I was in Thinkorswim. If I wasn't in Thinkorswim, I probably would wait a little bit
Okay.
later. Okay. So
All
I do
right.
3 to 4 and then I PDT hack them. Then I do maybe 3 more, maybe a little midday, and then I do 3 more.
Okay.
So I would break it out into three times. If I was working in Robinhood, then I would give it a little more time. If I was doing Robinhood, I probably would I would wait till maybe price was starting to pin in those in the take it back. I probably would still do the 1030, the 1030 trade because those trades are comfortable. I probably would do 2 contracts at the 1030 time frame with everybody else because everybody else is there and there's data to support that. I do a couple of contracts with those. I would wait till the price started to pin in some of these high areas and then I would do some more. I would do maybe 4 contracts and then I'd do maybe 4 more.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look to iron condor my money so I could get the most out of my collateral.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Very good thought.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I would do. But I would also, this is the other piece, if I'm trading with $5,000 a day in my mind, and this is not just for war, this is for everybody. In my mind, that $5,000 is gone. It's gone because if anything, staggering it won't be all gone at once. But you cannot marry that $5,000 because if something happens, don't come up in the chat talking crazy. You said no, no. I said I'm in this. Cause y'all see me, I've walked away from 3,300 at a pop. Now that was the market's money, but it still felt like it was mine because they gave it to me. All right. So are we clear? Anybody got any questions about how to stagger the trades along the way? Because I know throughout the day you all see that I'm posting and I'm putting 2 and 4, and then you're probably like, she's still posting trades, and that's because I'm just staggering it along the way. All right.
So I have a question. So when you stagger, are you waiting for at least your PDT hack to kick in and then say, okay, now I have it's locked. I can utilize that. They gave me back that collateral. Now I can move on with it to another trade.
Well, I'm not necessarily waiting on that.
Okay.
But if you're wanting to use that money again, then yes, you need to wait. Right? So if you've got $1,500 or $2,000 and you put on a couple contracts and you want to PDT hack it so you can use that money again, then you gotta wait. But for me, I'm like I'd like to PDT hack it. It's like it would be nice if I could PDT hack it, but I'm not waiting till the PDT hack fails before I do any other contracts.
Okay. Thank you.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Did we have any more things on our? Let's see. What else was there on our? Back to the thing. Okay, we were talking about okay, so Geraldine, you should be Geraldine, are you here? You are not here. Okay. Let me go and oh, hey Doreen. Doreen, are you here? Let me find the link and send it to the people. Nope, wrong place. Ah, back to the bottom. Come on, go away. Nope, just send it to you. Hold on, y'all. Let me get the people. There we go.
Valerie, you're back at you're inside the office. Are you finding that the 10 o'clock is still good for you to get in? Or are you trying to do you tend to get in earlier?
I'm still trying to get in at the 10:30.
Yeah, Val still listen, Val doing multiple contracts and such and such. PDT. PDT is the PDT hack. It's a video. It's basically a way for you to save your day trades. Be sure to read that. I'll make sure I give you the something's on me. I'll make sure to send you the I don't think I sent it to you, Denise. I need to send you the start here information because you popped in when we were on this call, but I need to make sure that I send you the start here. Here it is. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. I'm gonna forward it to you down here now, Denise.
Thank you.
I'm gonna forward at Denise. There we go. And in its entire the stuff about the questions you asked about PDT hack will be answered in there. PDT hack is there. Also, Christina, Dr. Christine, the information about the how to use gamma is one of these things in here too. I'm gonna open this up real quick because there's some people who may be
Oh,
new.
great. Thank you.
People who may be new who haven't seen this document, but definitely look through it. All the different pieces and the parts are okay, we can all see this, right? Got the meeting times are there. PDT hack is a video here about how do you do the PDT hack. It's basically a way for you to lock your trades, lock in your profits and or your smaller losses without having to use a day trade. You have to do it on Thinkorswim or Tasty Trades. You can't do it on Robinhood, but that's a way to not use your day trades, but you can trade every day. All right, so there's that. Here it is, the video here, how to read and use the gamma chart. Here's that video. I'll also put that link into the Telegram again, but there's that. So that way, this video, I think we did it on one of these Sunday calls a few weeks ago, and it'll be very, very useful for that. I don't know if we got anybody who's like new to options. If you're new and need credit spreads, that's all here. Basically, just go through this. Talk about VWAP is here because we use VWAP for our stuff. We always are talking about VWAP. So there's just good information in this sheet. All right. Gonna help you with using our strategy. Denise, I got you with the Zoom link. Make sure nobody sent me a message inside of the email like, where y'all at though? Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, what was next on our sheet?
You was actually still going through the how much for trading. I think you stopped at 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah, I did. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you need to think about, though, for you, what is a comfortable thing for you, because it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. So you have to decide for you what is comfortable. What, like I was just going through that with Ward. What's a comfortable amount that you want to trade with each day? And as you determine what you want to trade with each day, then you can come back here and fill in your capital allocated for the day, your maximum contract size. So even if you have that the $5,000 or 1,000 or 300, whatever it is you're trading with, right? Then what's your maximum contract size? And we got people who are trading XSP. If you're trading XSP, you're one contract, two contract, three contract, five, whatever it happens to be. But let's start where you are. There is no shame in this game. All of us, I used to be the one contract queen. I promise you, it didn't matter what I was doing, I was trading one contract. Period. I was doing one contract, no matter what it was, I was only doing one. It was my mentor who was like, AP, you gonna have to do more than one contract. I was like, cause that's $500 a pop. He was like, you're not gonna see the results you want with one contract. I was, I'm doing one. But one was where I started. I was there. I was comfortable there. And when I got stronger and got better and got more confident, I did more than one. Okay. So we're starting where we are. All right. I want you to know that I was there as well for a long time. So listen, do one until you're ready to do two. All right. That's the way that is. Don't let nobody bother you about that. Can you show the VWAP setting? Is that VWAP you're asking about, Yvette? No, you cannot do PDT hack on Robinhood.
Yes.
Okay. VWAP will not show up on Thinkorswim, but it will show up on, well, take that back. It will show up on Thinkorswim, but not on SPX. So if you want VWAP on SPX, you got to do it on TradingView. VWAP is on Thinkorswim, but it is on all the other stocks, but not on SPX.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was wondering how you were doing it. Now, do you think I could follow on SPY, the VWAP?
Yeah.
Okay. So if
Yeah.
I look at SPY, I can
Yeah.
get a feel for it because I don't have the other. What was the other option? Tradier?
Yeah, Tradier, Tasty Trade, and then Thinkorswim.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So what's your maximum contract size per entry? If it's one, that's fine. If it's two, that's fine. But you got to think about that. What's your daily profit target? We kind of talked about this a little bit in our chat some way back. People talking about what their goal was for the day. But what's your daily profit target? If it's $50, that's what it is. It's if I want my $50, I got my 50, I'm good to go. Like you see, like TJ will come and say, TJ does her two contracts, get her $100. She say, I'm done for the day because that's her profit goal for the day. Okay. Set that for yourself. What's your weekly target? Sometimes you start with the weekly and then you work backwards. Because if you say, I want, $250 a week or I want $500 a week, then you back it up. And if you make that money in 2 to 3 days, then you can stop. We can be not in trades on Friday. Who, Arlissa? That Friday. It took a lot out of me, but we made it. We made it. Your risk control notes. Are you doing 5 spreads? What is your stop loss plan? These are things you have to write for yourself. Okay. When I talk about my trading plan, is that I will get out when it touches my short strike, right? These are things you got to write for yourself. What is your plan? That's why we were on our call Friday and price was kind of dancing around, starting to pull back. And it was right around in this spot here. I started the conversation and said, okay, this is the place where you start asking yourself and reminding yourself what is your plan for when it's not doing what you want it to do. What is your plan? You need to be ready to execute your plan just in case you need to. And it turns out that we were right here and it went right on through our strikes, right? You got to have a plan for yourself, right? PCS zones to monitor. Do we have put credit? I don't know if we can talk these today. Put credit spread zones to monitor, call credit spread zones to monitor, iron condor ranges. This is really going to be like in the moment, in my opinion. You might have some thoughts, but to me, this is in the day. And then let's talk about your review. We've been here now about an hour and some change. What's your review of what went well last week? This is where we should review stuff from last week. What went well? What mistakes can we avoid? What's your number one focus for next week? Is your number one focus to add one extra contract? Is your number one focus to be patient and wait for price to come to you? Is your number one focus to get out, to set your PDT hack and get out? Is it to get your profits and close your computer and not to trade anymore? That could be your focus because maybe, you over trade. Maybe you set your focus to that. Mindset check. How are we mindset wise? Miss Marsha says she closes her computer down because it bothers her blood pressure. I can completely relate. When she get her money, she go to her garden. Your mindset, whatever that's gonna be for you, then let's do that, right? And then we're cleaning up our charts. Clean up your old drawings, update your key levels, mark your gamma zones, review your VWAP and major moving averages, prep your charts for Monday morning. This gets us ready. Let's go look at XSP. The chart looks very similar. Geraldine, did you come into the session? Don't know if she got the.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't go see you coming back, but now that you're in the Telegram now,
Oh, okay, thank you.
and you should be able to see. Can you see the Zoom link and all that good stuff? You're here, right? Weren't you able to get in to the
I
Telegram?
think you sent it to me
I did.
privately.
I did. Were you able to get in?
Yes, but not to the Telegram, no.
No. What? No? Okay, well, let's
Mm-mm.
talk after so we can make sure you can get it. Because I sent you the link to getting in.
Oh, okay, I'll look again. Thanks.
Okay. This is XSP. SPX 5 spread, $500 minus your premiums. That's how much it's gonna take you. XSP is 1 spread. All right, the kind of premiums we're gonna look for. If you own SPX, you're gonna look for premiums $50 up to, it depends on how close you want to get. Usually we'll get somewhere 100, 125 if you feeling froggy. That's SPX. XSP, we take in premiums. I usually try to get at least $10. I've seen us get 22, 25, depending on how close you want to be. Somebody last week said they got $30. Okay, this is what we're looking for as far as your returns on your money. It's good percentages,
30
right?
on one side?
Somebody got 33 last week, and that's
On
because
one side?
yeah, he waited till price came. He had the zone that I had selected the zone already. And when price climbed into the zone, he entered the trade. But we had entered the trade down here for this number up here. And when
Oh,
the price came up, then he entered and it turned and it reversed.
Yeah,
But
that was me, but
yeah,
that was not a planned thing. I didn't really wait. I just happened to see your message late. That's it.
you saw the
I
message
got
like,
lucky.
okay, I got lucky. I got lucky. Yeah, you said $33 and like, woo, there's some good premiums there, boy. On XSP, you were standing on top of it. It was standing on
right. You was feeling that fire.
feeling the fire for sure. Okay. So for those of us who are trading XSP, the chart is very similar to SPX, but you still should chart it. You should chart your XSP so that you'll know where is price going, what is price doing on XSP. So let's do a little chart here, right? This is the daily. Okay, and what are we charting? Support, resistance, gaps. At the bare minimum, that's what we're charting. At the bare minimum, what are you, and why are you there? That must have been a trend line. Let's see, at the bare minimum, support, resistance. On your chart too, support, resistance, and gaps. Let's go. Support, we're starting at current price and we're going down to support. Where did price go in reverse? We got a big old gap here that we can look at. There's going to be a support here. There's some support here. Several gaps on XSP. All right. Then we also going to have something in here based on this candle, this little doji here. Let's go look at resistance starting at current price, and we're going up to where did it go to reverse? So we're up at 593. We're up at 596. I'm on the daily chart. Then let's go with gaps. Remember, gaps are the close of one candle to the open of the next, and then pull off the wick. Yep, Geraldine came back into the family. We missed her. Close of one candle, open of the next, and then, yep, I'm opening up so I can make sure I can see good. These are the gaps there. Close of one candle, open of the next candle, and then pull off the wick. So this one is from 580.27 all the way up to 584. That's a gap. Here's one up here that's still, anytime you see color changes, there's probably a gap there. From the top of this green to the bottom, to the top of that orange there, that's also a gap. Close there, close, close, close. Okay, that's a gap there. Thought I saw one more. We probably don't need to go too far down here, but there is another one down here. Close of one candle, open of the next. Close for there, okay? Alrighty, so now we've got ourselves, we got us some support and resistance on the daily chart. According to our moving averages, looks like we are still bullish on XSP. The 20 period moving average is showing bullish. The 100 showing a little slightly bullish. The 50 showing bullish. The 200, everything's the price is above. This is the daily chart. Price is above all the moving averages, and they are slightly fanned out. The 20 has crossed over the 100. Basically, the 20 is on top of everybody. The 50 is not on top of the 100 yet, so there's still a little, this crossover hasn't happened yet. I think I got all the ones on the daily chart. Now, if we want to go to a smaller time frame, then let's go down to the 15. Again, if you can't see the support and resistance very clearly on your own like this, then switch over to the line chart right next here. You can go right where this line is, where the chart part is, and do this drop down box and pick the line chart. If you pick that, it's going to turn your chart into a line. Then you can see the peaks and the valleys. And when you see the peaks and the valleys, that's where you can put your lines. Wherever you got peaks and valleys, that's where your lines can go. Let you know those are the support and resistance areas on this particular time frame. Don't put so many that is too congested on your chart, but put enough on there that you can see where price is going to turn around. What we don't have at this point is a very good gamma. Oh, I want to talk about this. I'm glad we got here. We don't have a good gamma. So how do I give strikes? How do I provide y'all with strikes for XSP? Anybody got an idea how I do that? Because it's no magic. I want y'all to know everything you need to know to be successful at this game.
Magic 8 Ball.
I take magic 8 Ball sometimes, and then I chop off. So if we have a strike, so let's say, for example, I have a strike and I give a trade. So let's say I say, okay, like on Friday, we had 58. I think we had 58. I think I had 75, 58, 80 is what I had as my put credit spread. That's what I called out for SPX. Okay. For XSP, XSP is the 10%. So we're basically going to chop off this last digit. But the last digit, there's no 0.5. So basically you're doing the decimal place where the decimal would be here or the decimal would be here. But there is no decimal on XSP. So you got to go with whole numbers. So the highest number I want is the 588 because this is the 5880 is the highest number on the put credit spread. So I do 587, 588 on XSP. Now, if that's feeling a little uncomfortable, because I think Magic 8 Ball comment was 70, Magic 8 Ball suggested 70, 75. So Magic 8 Ball suggested 70, 75. I personally went up one more. So in this case, I would do 586, 587. Now, Magic 8 Ball does suggest XSP. I'm going to show you. Magic 8 Ball does do XSP, but it does not a 1-for-1. You see over here, Magic 8 Ball does have XSP as a, as a suggestion. But you'll see Magic 8 Ball won't suggest the same. The 50, it'll suggest some bigger number. I mean, a smaller number here as far as smaller, as far as lower, and then it'll be a higher price on the put. So it's not always 1-for-1 with Magic 8 Ball from XSP. Sometimes it is, but it's not always. So I don't go straight to the Magic 8 Ball suggestion because sometimes it's not in line with what is being suggested for SPX. So I really look more so, what is our gamma looking like? What strikes match that? And then go with that. Right? Call credit spreads can be a little more tricky. So when we were here on the call credit spreads, okay, that was put credit spreads I just talked about. Call credit spreads. Let's say, for example, we've got, we had 59, let's say we had 59.35, 59.40. And some people were in this area here on Friday. Okay. What are y'all's thoughts for what would be a good trade suggestion for XSP? If I was calling out 59.35, 59.40 for SPX,
A little higher, but yeah, 59, 593.
Would 593 be high enough, or should we go on up
Higher.
to 594? Because this would be like
Yeah.
593.5. We're moving
Right.
one decimal over.
Yeah.
And there's no
High.
0.5, so we got to go 594, 595. And if you're not feeling comfortable there, then you could go with 595, 596. That's how I'm finding, that's how I come up with the number. I'm looking at SPX is the guide. And I'm taking that and translating it to XSP. Okay, that's how I'm doing. I'm translating it that way. So I figure if the 59.35.40 trade holds for SPX, if this trade is profitable for SPX, then the 594, 595 is going to be good for XSP. But if I did 593, right, 594, and this stopped at 59.32, if it stopped at 59.32, then this trade is breached, because then that's 593.2, 593 and 20 cents. That's breached. We don't want that. Y'all understand the difference there? So we have to go with, we got to go above these 0.5s. If it's got a 5 here, we got to go to the next one up. Okay. And as we trade in, you know, the hardest part about XSP though is you can't wait too long in the day because the premiums dry up. But we can't get too early in the day because price is moving. So it's a little dance. We're doing the little dance, do a little dance. So kind of what I was talking about last week was to put on earlier when we're doing our 1030 trade on SPX, that I will still call out the XSP trade, and we can put on maybe like, I won't call it a trial, but like a tester. You know, if you put on a tester, maybe you put one contract on these, you know, you put one contract at the spot, and then as price moves towards it or whatever, you can add to it, which is what I did on Friday. I had a couple contracts at the spots, and then as price moved around, I added to those contracts to get more contracts at the spot, at the places where we wanted to be already. That's one way to do it. Or of course, you can just wait till price gets there. I feel like if I turn it on early though, I won't forget where I want it to be. You know, a lot of things are happening during the day. I'm trying to make sure I don't lose my mind. So if I put the trade, if I put one or two contracts on early, then as price is still moving around and price gets to it and the premiums get better, then I can add more to that same contract place. All right. Yes, Yvette, all this is 0 DTE. We tried some 1 DTEs and we were doing really good on those until we changed presidents. And when we changed presidents, the market and the tariffs and all that stuff, and our 1 DTE started having all kind of trouble. We had a nice 1 DTE strategy. I was excited. It was based on VWAP, based on statistics. The math was mathing. And then tariffs came in, and there went our 1 DTE strategy. Okay. All righty. We've been about an hour and a half. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah.
I've covered a lot. If you are new here and haven't watched any of the videos, I would suggest that you let some of the videos play. I have some people I need to add to the trades channel. I will make sure I do. I will give you the link. I won't add you. I will give you the link to join the trades channel. If you don't get a link to the trades channel and you need to have it, within the next 15, 20 minutes, then send me a message because I'm planning on doing that when I get off here. So that way you can have access. I want to make sure that you can see the channels here. There's a regular channel, which is where our conversation happens. And then we have the E2T membership trades channel. This is where I put the trade. So that way stuff don't get lost in the shuffle, right? I want to make sure that you can see what's here. And I put the trades are all in here. I try to put, the whole thing, what I put in, and I try to put how many contracts I have. How many contracts I have doesn't necessarily, it's not kind of no consequence. It's just kind of, some people have asked that they know how many I have. Maybe they want to just really follow at the same weight. So I do it. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, but all this is there. All right. I'm going to send I'll send that information, those messages out so you can join the trades channel.
I had a quick question.
Yep, go ahead.
What time does this meeting normally start?
Normally it starts at 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tonight was
Today I'm running late because I came home late.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Normally starts at 6. But today I did my YouTube. Usually I do my YouTube at 5 and I do this at 6. Today I did YouTube at 6 and then I did this at 7.
Right, the message said 8 o'clock it was gonna start. That's why I was like, wait, they on now? How they doing that? What's going on?
What are they doing? Yeah, normally we are here and gone, hopefully by now. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All righty. Anybody else? All right,
real
y'all.
quick. Well,
Go ahead, Janae. Go ahead.
I'll catch the video. See, this is why you can't have a phone next to you because they just too distracting. You went over SPX. I know I saw you go over XSP, but SPX, you are relying on Magic 8 Ball based on the strike, or are you just using our high low, like how we used to kind of go back in the day?
I'm looking at the gamma, and if we decide like when we break out of the opening range, then when putting in, that's when you'll see our Magic 8 Ball come into the chat. That way everybody has a place for the strike, and that's our guide for that strike. So when we're at our best times, we're using our Magic 8 Ball strikes. When we're looking at our gamma chart, we're using that. If we have an opening range breakout, we're looking at our Magic 8 Ball strikes. So yep, it's a nice little guide for us.
Real quick, you have more confidence to be within the pins, whereas like I was telling you, I would be at the end of the pin line. I mean the gamma. What is
Yeah.
making you feel like, I know you're taking the biggest bars, so to speak. You feel like that's still okay because it's gonna move around as opposed to getting outside further from the bar?
So for me, I'm looking at the big bar as the place where price is going to try to pin, right? So that's one for me. I know it's gonna be, I feel like that's gonna be like looking at this. The big bar here is going to be the place where
I don't
price
see
is
anything.
going to, oh, that stopped my sharing. Let me go back to sharing. Thank you. Okay. Make it bigger. There we go. So the big bar is where it's going to want to try to pin, right? If it gets up here in the positive gamma, it's going to want to pin here. Even if it dances a little bit past it, it's not going to go but so far past this. Unless there's a lot of momentum, which that happens, right? So once it gets into the pin zone, we get a few strikes beyond this, you're fine. So I mean, I always, Janae, want you to get to the place where you're comfortable. Now, way out here at the 59, 55, I mean, you could be out here, but it's not gonna be as much money out here. So I mean, we want a nice mix of comfort, comfortability or safety, but we also want to get at least our 10% premiums. We want to get our at least 10%, but if we out too far, we're not gonna get our 10%. So it's a nice little dance, right? I think this is a good place to be. I think this is what, 59, that's 59.40. That's 59.40. Is it dark outside?
Yeah.
Hold on. Makai, yes.
Can you please open the garage?
I will. All right. Bye. Yeah, so it's like there's, let me find the thing to open the garage. It is dark. He's supposed to have been in here by now. I actually thought he was home already. Where is the thing to open a garage? Hello? Why am it was after dark, so now, oh, there it is. The app changes when it gets dark. It changes from being, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, beyond this, the peak, somewhere in here. And of course, we were talking about waiting until it pins up here. So once it kind of gets into the pin zone, then you're going to be able to get more money up here further out because it's up here by now. But if you're trying to, while price is climbing to here, if you're trying to get over in this area, then there's not going to be any money. Price has to climb here in order to provide premiums up here. So it's going to be a timing thing. So if definitely anybody, not just you, but if you, the collective you, wait till price gets to the pin zone, then you're gonna have better premiums beyond the pinning zone, right? So that's the thing. So my confidence comes from, that was your question. The confidence comes from what if it gets to the higher bar, the bigger bar there, then it's probably going to pin, and the because, and the reason I can say that is because that's where the market makers want it to be, and they want it to be more, it's more stable there. So once it gets here, they're kind of keeping the volatility down, kind of keeping the stability in place. That's where they want it to be. So once it gets up here with a good positive gamma, then price is just going to kind of settle for a minute. It's just, we do see that it takes a minute to get here, right? And then, but then we get to 3 o'clock power hour, and price does its thing. Then
Okay.
there's my confidence. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I always want you to be, you know, at a strike you're comfortable with. Just know there's a trade-off if it's further away, because I know you like being further away, but if you're further away, there's probably going to be less premiums there. Because we'll be
Right,
at the
right.
$80,
And
$90.
8 ball is skewed for higher premiums.
It is, yes, the strikes for 8 ball are set. It's set to look for the premium in order to provide the strike. It's not looking for at the other things to provide a strike. It's looking for premiums to decide a strike. So that's why we partner it with the chart.
All right, real quick, ES.
Oh yes, thank you for bringing it up because I had forgotten. Phew. Come on, let's move.
And you said no 8:45 tomorrow, so we have a free
No,
morning.
thank you. Free morning tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment, so I will not be home at 8:45 in the morning. Oh, y'all, I need to pause the thing. How about last week? I was hanging out with y'all and trading and doing it. Was it Monday? No, Monday was the holiday. I was hanging out at home, chilling, doing all this stuff. How about I forgot to go meet the trainer.
The gym.
I had just came back from vacation. Your girl was still chilling. And then he called, and then it was about 1:30. He called, my phone rang, and I looked and I saw his name. I said, "Oh, snap." As soon as I saw his name, I was like, "Oh, snap." So
y'all gonna eventually get it. From Friday to Monday, get it.
I said, "Oh man." He said, "Miss Harlissa, are you okay?" I was like, "Now you know I'm okay." I ain't say that. I said, "Oh yes, I'm fine." I said, "I forgot all about coming to the gym." I said, "I forgot all about coming to the gym. I forgot all about it." I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I said, "I'm at home. I've been on vacation, but I'm back." I said, "I forgot all about coming." And he was like, "Well, I just want to make sure that you're all right." I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." I said, I'll see you next Monday." I'll see you next Monday. So yeah. Yep, that happened. That happened last week. So now I cannot forget to go tomorrow for sure. I was like, "Oh," Susie called. I was like, "Nah, bruh. Hey, hey. Okay, so it's at 5,900 right now, the ES is, and I think we're still probably got like a 10-point gap between those two. Let me go see. Actually, I can see it better here than I can over there. SPX 500 is at 58.92, so it's like an 8-point gap. SPX 500 is at 58.92, and ES is at 5,900. 5901. It's about an 8 or 9-point gap between the two. But this is what it's doing. This is a 15-minute chart. It ran up as high as 59.30. It went down as low as 58.50. So it's just kind of looking a little slightly bearish for the big moving averages. Well, not just the big ones, because the 9, the 20, and the 50 are also pointing down for now. I mean, this is, middle of the night. 5901, 5892. So SPX is now below 5,900 right now. We
Yeah,
closed at what?
we ended at
59?
59.11. No,
Yeah.
yeah, 11.
So we're a little below that, about 20 points below that right now.
So it did move. Okay.
All righty. All right, everybody. I'm going to add the people. I'm going to send links to the people who are new. And when this is all ready and to go, I will make sure that I send the link to this into the Telegram so that anybody who needs to rewatch can do that. And I will see you in the chat in the morning. Won't be live, but I'll see you in the chat, okay?
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
All right,
Good night.
everybody. Y'all have a good night. All
Bye.
right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Night.
Bye-bye.